The police are still working on what they need to do for the posts that have gone up. I should have an answer from them very, very soon. They do actually have to warrant one of the companies so they can go and then trace all the IP addresses. What is happening to Canada right now? What is happening to us Ontarians? I think they need to open their eyes and actually start believing in something that is going to be real and who's actually going to help us. You don't want them to go to work? Then fine. But you know what? Don't send them home without pay. Send them home with pay so they can get through Christmas, so they can put food on the table for their families.
Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Pickering, Ontario. And folks, it's the Halloween season, and I am here at the residence of Lisa Robinson. If you recall a report back in September with Lisa Robinson, Lisa was canceled by her own party. She was the candidate for the Beaches East York riding, and then some false and malicious social media postings came to light. And Lisa, I remember interviewing you back then. This was probably released by your Liberal opponent. And at first, the Erin O'Toole Conservative said, Lisa, don't worry, this is Friday morning. We have your back. We're going to fight this. We're going to lawyer up. And then by Friday evening, Lisa, can you kindly resign? Likely because they got some media inquiries. The thing is, you have always alleged this was a stitch-up. This was a frame job of yourself, of your character. In the last month that's gone by, have you been able to unravel this mess?
I've had hundreds upon hundreds of people reaching out to me, actually, David, and thinking that, you know, they've been very, very supportive, extremely supportive. The police are still working on what they need to do for the posts that have gone up. I should have an answer from them very, very soon. They do actually have to warrant one of the companies so they can go and then trace all the IP addresses and the VPN, I think, address, or I'm not technical savvy, but they're working on it right now. As soon as they have anything, they will get back to me. Also, the Commissioner for Elections Canada is also working on things as well, as because when I was dumped by the Conservative Party, they had actually stolen my signs as well and some of my literature. So I was unable to finish my campaigning, and in the Elections Act, they weren't supposed to do anything like that. So.
Wow. And Lisa, I know you have always alleged that I am not the author of these social media postings that went out that attracted all the publicity. I guess once you can absolutely definitively prove through the internet email addresses and what the police have to say, if you do indeed prove that you were the victim of a smear campaign, how is the Conservative Party going to respond to that?
I honestly don't know how they're going to respond to that, but the other candidate that was working in this area of Pickering-Uxbridge, he was also smeared for making racist comments and whatnot. But the party did not dump him. They only dumped me, and I can only think that it is because I am female.
Now, Lisa, of course, when we did the original interview down in the riding of Beaches East York, that was before the election. And we all know how the election turned out. It was basically the status quo. It was Erin O'Toole in opposition, Justin Trudeau maintaining a minority government. The wrangling since then is, will Erin O'Toole be the leader of this party? Because typically, minority parliament in Canada lasts 18 to 24 months. Personally, I find it hard to believe this is a discussion. I can't believe there's not a leadership review going on as we speak. But if Erin O'Toole gets another kick at the can, do you predict success, or is it going to be more of the same, given that the strategy of Mr. O'Toole and the strategy of this party seems to be forever going further and further left?
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. I don't think that Erin O'Toole is Conservative anymore. I don't think that Doug Ford is Conservative anymore. To me, it seems like we just have a bunch of Liberals parties at this time. I don't think anyone is really a true conservative. Now, I do know for the upcoming provincial election, I do know that Jim and Belinda, they are going to be heading up the new Blue Party.
Yes.
Now, they are true conservatives, which I'm very, very hopeful for, because they are the type of people that are going to work for all Canadians. They're not going to discriminate against them, whether it be their medical status, whether it be their sex, their religion, anything like that. They are true conservatives, and they really want to help the people of Ontario.
You know, and Lisa, I agree with you, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for both Jim and Belinda Carahalios. The only thing is, much like the People's Party of Canada, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for Maxime Bernier, the leader, a startup party getting traction, winning seats, becoming government, it is a Herculean task. So I'm just wondering, sure, there's a lot of pent-up resentment against the established political parties, but it seems that going after, or supporting, rather, the startup parties, it's kind of a no-hoper.
It is a no-hoper at times because, yes, it can split the vote, and that's how come, we keep on getting people like Trudeau back in power. But I think with all the flip-flopping that the Conservatives have been doing on different issues, I think that once the people really start to see what is happening to Canada right now, what is happening to us Ontarians, I think they need to open their eyes and actually start believing in something that is going to be real and who's actually going to help us. Where is O'Toole now? Where is he on these vaccine mandates?
Yes.
Where is he, with all these people losing their jobs for no reason? I mean, if Doug Ford is saying right now that he wants to stop these vaccine mandates, the passports, before or by the end of March, then all these people that are losing their jobs right now, what about them? You know what he should be doing? He should be saying, okay, if this is such a problem on this society right now and you're afraid of the unvaxxed, which honestly we both know that you should not be, but if you are afraid of the unvaxxed, you don't want them to go to work, then fine. But you know what? Don't send them home without pay. Send them home with pay so they can get through Christmas, so they can put food on the table for their families. And then at the end of the March, when you say there's no more vaccine mandates, then Ford, you know what? Bring them all back to work. That's what you should be doing, not creating this division of the population, creating this two-tiered society where people can't put food on the table and they can't work. It's extremely unfair.
So, Lisa, one last question. First of all, do you have any remaining political ambitions, and do you have any side projects on the go as of now?
Lots of political ambitions, whether I join the Blue Party in the provincial election coming up, or if I decide to run for mayor as Pickering. I haven't quite decided yet. I have a lot of people reaching out and I have an awful lot of support. But besides that, what I am doing right now, because of COVID, is I'm offering my notary services for free for anybody who needs help, that is having an issue with COVID or they're being let go and they need to have any kind of documentation notarized. They can reach out to me at lifelibertyandlisa.com and I will sign any of their notarizing documents complimentary at this time.
Well, Lisa, I think that's fantastic. There are so many people in need. I know you've got a big heart. You've got a haunted house here on your property. You're raising money for charity, and now you're trying to help people in need. Thank you so much, and my best wishes as you move along.
Thank you so much, David. I appreciate you taking the time and talk to me and let other people hear my side of the story.
Folks, can you imagine what's happened to our once great Dominion? Mandatory vaccine passports, get the jabs or lose your jobs, and not even get employment insurance. We think that's wrong. We're fighting back in the court and amassing signatures on a petition. Please go to fightvaccinepassports.com. That's fightvaccinepassports.com. Sign the petition, and if you're in a position where you can give a contribution, please do so.